Hello, hello. Welcome to my stream. I'm George. You can find me as Volcano in different Amiga forums. Welcome everyone in the chat. Hello, hello. Welcome to my stream. It's Friday. Happy Friday to everyone. It's another stream about Amiga 1200 with the PyStorm 32 Lite. We will continue the journey that we started some time ago, and I hope it's going to be fun today and you are going to have a good time. Hello SLD Snake, G277, Javier, welcome to the stream. Javier, yeah, I'm going to wait for you later if you have time to join us again. I don't know if you have watched the previous streams, and if you find them interesting, please let me know if there is something that you would like to see. And also, guys, please let me know about the sound if it is fine. Yeah, feel free to join us whenever you have time. Yeah, that's fine. I have prepared a few things to share with you today while we are going to continue the setup of the Amiga 1200 with the PyStorm. And but I'm not well prepared. Some things I'm going to find them with you here on this stream. For example, I have the latest Wi-Fi driver for the PyStorm and the Raspberry Pi, but I haven't even extracted yet, so I don't know this package what exactly has in there. If you remember the last stream, I showed you the website from the Amiga Kit that this is available for you to download it. Unfortunately, that link doesn't work for me at all. For other people it works, so it might be something with my connection, I don't know. But I managed to talk with Jan, who is developing AmiKit, and he provided that package to me, so I'm going to show you that later today. And also I'm going to have a look on different small utilities that are quite useful, and you might find them interesting as well for your Amiga OS systems. And we can see, first I would like to see a few things that you can do with the network and different tools to manipulate when you are going to online or offline and things like that. Cool. So today here in Ireland is a pretty hot day. We have more than 17 degrees of Celsius, and it's pretty hot in here. So you are going to see me drinking a lot of water, but if I forget it, please remind it to me, because I'm sweating here. So yeah, it's pretty hot. Summer is coming, it seems. But it's Ireland. Tomorrow might be raining all the time, and or even snowing. You never know. So I'm going to stop the music, and I would like to show you a few things. Right now, if you remember from the previous stream, we have managed to connect the Amiga to the network, so we have access to internet. But how do you see some information about the network, and where exactly, if you are connected or not, and if you are not connected, what can you do? In this specific situation right now, I have this PCMCIA network card that connects with the LAN cable to my switch, so I'm getting internet from that. This is an easier way to go online, because you don't have to work with wireless networks, SSIDs, passwords and all this stuff. You connect it, you go online. SLT Snake says, don't overclock that Pi with that climate. Yeah, absolutely. Even without overclocking, that is getting a little bit hot. It is fine. My 1230, the Blizzard, it's getting much hotter than the Pi Storm. It's crazy. When I have the 1230 on my 1200 here and I'm working with that, I even touch the table underneath the table, the Amiga, and the table is a little bit thick, and I feel the heat coming from the 12 from the 68030. That is crazy. But I think with the Python we don't have so much trouble, unless of course if you overclock it. For now I don't intend to overclock. Actually, I don't like overclocking my computers. I never did that. And I'm pretty happy with the speed that it has. In case I need some extra speed about the Pi Storm, the good thing is that you can go and buy the Raspberry Pi 4, and then you are going to get almost twice the speed, and it's going to work with the same system without any problems. So yeah, I'm looking forward to see if they are going to do anything with the Pi Store, with the Raspberry Pi 5, and if this is going to be supported. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but this is going to be really crazy speed up. So right now, if you are connected and you want to see some information, for example, your IP or something like that, the command that you can use is show net status. This is going to give you the current IP that you have, the gateway, and the DNS servers that you are using. And if you want to shut down the network, you are going to use net shutdown, and this is going to terminate the network connection. So if you see here, we are not connected. So what can you do to connect again? Actually, if we go and open with the roadshow, those are commands that are coming with the roadshow. But I think that there are equivalent commands for the Miami or anything else that you might, AmiTCP maybe. So if we go and open the network startup, you are going to see what exactly the system does on boot to start the network. So the only thing that we need to run is this command. Or if you don't want to remember it, or you don't want to copy paste it, you can always do execute s network startup. And if everything goes well, this is going to set up again the network like that. So we are again online. But I get it. Sometimes people say, okay, but we are on Amiga, not in Linux, and we don't want to use the shell, right? So what can you do with a GUI that helps you to do the same thing? The tool that I choose to use, it is called Rodi. Let's find it on Aminet. It is a simple tool that it is quite lightweight. I'm using that on my other 1200, and it is developed by Graham Thompson. I had the chance to meet Graham and at a Kickstart event in UK at Nottingham, and had some discussion about that. Really great guy. So that's my tool of choice for the Roadshow. So let's download it and install it. And if we go to the downloads, and I'm going to create here in applications, utilities, I will create here a folder and drop everything in there. Okay, remember that with the right Amiga and Y, we actually run a script that is over here in tools, auto arrange icons, and this arranges the icons and resizes the window and saves it takes the snapshot of everything. So remember, if I'm doing that with one shortcut, that's what I'm using. And yeah, let's see what Rody does. As soon as we start it, it shows our status and the hotkey that we can use to open it up again. We can disconnect from here. And if we call show net status, it gives us the same information that we have seen earlier. Get net status tries to connect with the network. Let's start connect it again. And now it tries to execute again the network and start it properly, and it informs us when we connect exactly the same information that we got earlier with show net status. Get net status, information here about that, what kind of which version of Roadshow we are using, and if we do some ping here, for example, this is the IP for the Google DNS, I think. It will give us information if that's exceeded or not. We can change it, I believe, with a domain. And it works just fine. So if you want an easy and simple tool to use for Roadshow and connect, disconnect, anything you want to do, Rody is my preferred tool, and you might even want to use it as well. But I would like to ask you, if you are using something else, what exactly do you prefer to use? Do you prefer to have a Miami Deluxe, maybe? Or something else, AMI TCP? What exactly are you using on your Amigas? C277, what are you using on your classic Amigas to get online? So that's what I wanted to mention here for Rody. In older no internet for classics, oh my god, you have to get them into the net. Only OS4, yeah, that's fine, yeah, great. Maybe you can use Rody on OS4 as well, because OS4 is using Roadshow. But with OS4 you never need actually to get offline. With OS3 you probably need to go offline, especially in situations where you run WSD load games or demos. They are known that whenever you are online, the WSD load are not starting, so you have to go offline. If you have seen in my previous stream, whenever I started the WSD load, I was disconnecting the PCMCIA, but this is not something that is always easy to do. For example, if we go online with the PyStore Wi-Fi, what are you going to do? Are you going to disconnect the PyStore? Of course not. Or are you going to go and disable the network startup? I think a tool like that, the Rodi, is perfect for that job. So, since the previous stream, I did some installations in my system. I installed AHI version 6 for having some games working that I would like to show you later. And also I installed the AmiFTP. I think that's the version that is available on Aminet. So this gives me the option to connect to my NAS and have access to files that I have there for Amiga. Since I am here, I would like to download, I think I have here the Wi-Fi package for the package for the Wi-Fi of the Raspberry Pi. So I'm going to need this one, get, and also I need the Wi-Fi WPA. So let's see if we can have the Raspberry Pi to serve the internet for us, if we can manage to make it work. So let me close everything, and I have here WPA Wi-Fi. Create it, okay, extract, and we have the Prism 2 version 2. This one is usually used for cards, for PCMCIA cards like this one. That's an alternative way to connect through PCMCIA, but with Wi-Fi. This card supports WPA2 as well, so whenever I need to set it up, I use the same this package, the Prism 2. But I think that for this, for the Wi-Fi from the Raspberry Pi, we need a tool from this package and not everything. Certainly not the driver. So let's see what we need to do. And I have some information on my other screen that will help me to set it up. But if you guys download the Wi-Fi WPA package from the AmiKit website, let's see what exactly do you find in this archive. So there is a documentation, thankfully. The content of this archive, if copied to AmiKit, will enable 2.4 GHz or 5 GHz Wi-Fi internet with WPA and WPA2 encrypted support for your Amiga with PyStorm. If you remember correctly, the first version that was released about this driver was not supporting the WPA and WPA2, and this is crucial because you had to have a network on your router that, or your switch, that will be free for everyone. And back then I told you that I would like to avoid to use it because exactly for that reason, and anyone could get into your network and you might have issues. So I was waiting for this to be available and for me to have access. Have in mind that this is an early alpha version, so it might have issues, or it might have not give the the highest of the speed. It's not quite optimized or something like that, but it should work just fine, I guess, and I hope. For me, the I'm going to use the 2.4 gigahertz because on my network the 5 gigahertz is using WPA3, and I doubt that we are going to be able to connect. Um, so as it says here, this software is still in alpha, which means that it can and does contain bugs. Fortunately, an auto update mechanism is implemented that will prompt you to update Wi-Fi Pi device if newer version is found. That's awesome. I guess that this might be a situation if you install it in AmiKit, because AmiKit has an auto update tool. I'm not sure if that works everywhere outside of AmiKit, of course. Installation in AmiKit, copy the content of the archive to AmiKit and override the corresponding files there. Then restart your Amiga. Next time it boots, the network wizard will appear. Simply select Wi-Fi Pi and follow the prompts. Okay. So we are not going to follow that because it is for AmiKit and we are not running AmiKit here. Big thanks to Michael Schulz from Emu68 team who made this all possible. And yeah, Jan is the developer of the AmiKit. So let's see what we have here. We have in C these files, compare, insert text in S. Okay, a lot of stuff. I think that WSD load, startup and cleanup, those are the files that shuts down automatically the network whenever you start a WSD load demo, game or whatever, and then start them up. Let's see the content. It's the classic content and it has here slows down Emu68. Okay. I don't know if we need that. Maybe we do. But not for network. Startup network. Okay, we don't need all of these. This script activates network on boot, configurable by Zeus or network wizard. Okay, if that exists. I think that this might be something that runs for the first time. We will see if we will need it. Startup. Yeah, we don't need all this stuff. We need for sure to go to devs and get, we have here the firmware. These are some files that are needed for the network. Internet, okay, that configuration, we don't need that. And networks, this is for the Wi-Fi PyStorm. So, okay, let's go to our devs. If we get into network, you will see we have different devices here, where we installed also the CNET 16 the last time for the PCMCIA. So we are going to copy that file here, and firmware we are going to copy that as it is in the devs of our system. Okay, and if I'm not wrong, this is 0.3.0. okay, yes. About all this stuff, I don't think we need to change anything, but for us we have a net interface that is for the PCMCIA. This needs to be removed from here, I think, so I'm going to move it to storage. Like that. So if I reboot my system, the network is not going to be able to start unless if I do it manually with that CNET from storage. And what else we need to do? If we go to Workbench Startup, what it has here, Wi-Fi by update. Yeah, that's a tool to check for the update, I guess. Okay, let's copy that into utilities to have it and check it later. Preferences. Okay, here in envarchive sys, it should have, yes, the wireless no pass and Wi-Fi Pi. We need one of these to set up our network, but we can do it manually. So what we need to do is to go to Prism, and we have that extracted here, and from Prism we need to copy I think the wireless manager. I'm going to copy both of them into C. Copy. After that means the hash with the question mark, that means any file from this folder. So copy all these files to C. C2 says the 1200 is gorgeous, but we love the Workbench too. Of course, of course. It's not only for gaming, right? Okay, so we copied everything. And what we need is, if you have seen here somewhere, I think in Startup Network, you need this one. Run nil wireless manager Wi-Fi by device. So I will actually get the check as well. Copy and go to open. I will put it. We need to go online. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. I'm going to remark these lines and go here and say so it checks if this file exists, execute, run this wireless manager with a Wi-Fi Pi device. Okay, save it. And now the next thing that we need to do is to set up the network file. So I'm going to start a new one and say network equals and here we are going to say SSID equals something. Now it says key MGMP, key management, I guess that's something. Okay, and scan SSID equals to. So if your SSID is hidden for some reason, you have to add here the value 1. Mine is not hidden, so I'm going to leave it as 0. The SSID that I'm going to use is the name of the network, and for the key management I think I have to use the other tool that we copied from the Prism, which is the WPA passphrase. That's what I think we have to use. Let me check. Wi-Fi Pi, yeah, and no pass, key management done. Okay, let me try and put here okay, so how you can get this key management? This can be done by the following. If you go to again the cell, I guess you can do WPA underscore pass phrase, and if I recall correctly, you need to type here the password. Let me see, installation usage. I'm checking the documentation from the Prism 2. I think it should say something here. Wireless parameters. Okay, key management WPA PSK. Okay, yes, okay. So key management, I will have to say WPA dash PSK, and PSK equals, here we have to put the WPA key. Great. So to get the WPA passphrase, I think, yes. So to get the passphrase, you have to add WPA passphrase, the SSID, and your password. And this is going to give you an alphanumeric key, like something like that, but more a better secret, and then you can put it here. Let me save it as this needs to go to envark sys, and this has to be wireless, I guess, right? Let me wireless dot prefs. You save it in envark because envark is saved in hard disk, right? And then whenever you boot or whenever this is needed, this is going to be copied automatically by the system into env folder that is in RAM. Chitu says, lol, we want to see your workbench. Right now we are doing some work in the workbench, so a lot of windows are going to be here and there. Skynet 060, welcome. Hello, welcome to the stream. What we are doing right now, we try to set up the Wi-Fi network connection from the Pi Store, and to make it access the my network through uh, the Wi-Fi through the Raspberry Pi. Chitu, I just understood what you were talking. Man, the camera shows the Amiga, not Workbench. Yeah, Amiga is beautiful. That's why I'm showing that. You were right. So, what I'm doing is, as I was saying earlier, but I was not showing that, which is great thing to do. Um but it's not useful for you guys, right? So, yeah, you see the heat here in Ireland got me crazy. So what I'm doing is I added this wireless manager command into the network startup. Uh, so the driver is starting. I created the wireless.prefs file for the um, for my setup, and to add here the SSID and all this stuff. Um, I used two packages which I downloaded. The one that comes uh, from the website from AmiKit. This is the Wi-Fi WPA for AmiKit Pi Store. This has the driver for the Wi-Fi Pi, so this is a good place to get it because I haven't found the driver anywhere else. And I also downloaded the Prism 2 V2 from Aminet. This has two tools in here in C that we are going to use it. The wireless manager is the one that starts the driver, and the passphrase, the WPA passphrase, is the command that I'm going to use to get a passphrase that needs to be added in this file in the wireless.prefs. I copied both of them in my C, and that's why if you run it here in the network setup, I run the wireless manager with the device, Wi-Fi Pi device. The Wi-Fi Pi device is from the package that I got from AmiKit. Is in here, devs, networks, Wi-Fi Pi device. So this is copied in networks here. You can have multiple of devices. It's not hard, but you start only the ones that you need. And also I had to copy the firmware folder into my dev folder. That internet folder is not needed from my side because we have already the network setup from Roadshow. We don't need to copy all these files, unless if we figure out that something is not working, we might need to have a look. Groups, things like that should be the default, I guess. But since this package is meant to be installed in AmiKit, there might be configurations that are specific for the AmiKit and not for every Amiga OS setup. Like here we have the Amiga OS 3.2, right? So yeah. So what I need to do right now is to fill up this wireless prefs, to add here the SSID and the PSK. To do that, I'm going to hide the screen for a little bit because these are sensitive data, and try to do it as fast as possible. And if I forget to switch the screen, please let me know, because otherwise you are going to see only pixels, which is okay. We are playing with Amiga, but it shouldn't be like that, right? So we have okay. Let me double check. Okay, I think I have it right. Great. Actually, when you run this command, it gives you all the information that you need to add to the wireless preferences file. Great. Actually, for the PSK, in the file, you can also use your password. But this is not a good practice because it is a text file. Okay, so anyone who will have access to your system, it's going to be able to see that as soon as, of course, they know how to use an Amiga. That's also something that you have to have in mind. Citu says, like a Doom version of your stream. Yeah, but with a better way of playing, I guess. Faster way. So let me reboot, and if we did everything right, we probably going to be able to get online. I hope so. Let's see. Because we set up the wireless, we set up the device, so everything is fine from that side. If I open a new, at least we booted. That's always a good sign. So if I do something like a ping, nothing happens here. That's logical because we need to start Rodi and connect, or try to connect. If that fails, the way to do it is to go and start the commands manually, so that you see if there is a problem with a connection or something. But actually what we should need is only the wireless prefs file and the device. Okay, it seems that it doesn't work. So, what have we done? let's check it again. We have here, if we open network startup, we have that. So let me copy it and see if we can have any information. Okay, now that it says trying to associate, that means that it was not run before, because if I open a new cell like that and run again the same command, it should say that this device is oh no, okay. At least when I was using the PCMCIA, it was saying that it was used, so it can't do that. Okay, so if I Control C that, okay, and if I now try the Rodi, are we going to be able to connect? Yes. Now maybe we need a net interface. If we go to storage, we have the net interfaces. If you remember, we had different the CNET one. Let me see if I can open it here. Yes. And there is also one for the Prism 2, which is the driver for the wireless. Okay. We definitely need one of these because that has information about how to connect to network with it, how to take the IP. Okay, and the CNET device. Okay, so I'm going to try that, and what I'm going to do is take the devs, net interfaces, open that, and copy CNET. So now, if I drag it and drop it in, you see that it's moving that, but I want to copy it. To do that, you hold the right Amiga mouse, and then you select it. You hold the right Amiga mouse, and then you drag it, and then as a result it copies the file. So I'm going to rename it to Wi-Fi Pi and edit that here. Wi-Fi Pi 1, and okay, and the device is Wi-Fi Pi device. We need a DHCP, and I will leave the rest as they are. Connect now. Yes. Now it should use automatically this network interface because it finds it in net interfaces folder. The other way to do it is to take this command add net interfaces. Okay, that timed out. Let's see if we do it manually. But from this window we see that the connection, it seems it worked. SSID associated with that. This is the MAC address of the card, I guess. Invalid EA poll key make when using TP-TK. Ignoring that, could not verify that key. Okay, completed. Okay, let's reboot. And try that again. Sometimes these things are a little bit stubborn and weird to set up, but if you manage to make it work, it's always going to work. Okay, so right now we theoretically have the wireless working. Started at least the driver, and I'm going to start try again to add the net interface. So I'm going to go to S, going to run it, this one manually just to get the output. Maybe before we started that twice, so that's okay. Okay, that's good. So if we do ping amiga.gr, it replies back. So we have internet. Now, what I should have done, I guess, is take this code and move it into user startup before I run the network startup. I could have it here, but I would like anything that has to do with the network startup to be together, I guess. So I'm going to move it here. I will leave it here before the net interface. Now, if I remove the comment from these commands, from these two commands, we are going to get into the network every time I boot my system. Let's try that and make sure that it works. But I'm not sure that I want it to work like that. I might need to have that enabled whenever I want, so I can do it from Roadie, for example. If that's the case, I need to put that command into remarks again. So new shell ping. Okay, that's the issue now. That's one of the issues that you might have when you try to do something like that. First of all, we need to start the Wi-Fi device, right? And the Wi-Fi device it's taking some time to connect to the network, to connect with your router. Until this is established, the net interface might fail. But we might need here to put some wait, for example, wait, I don't know, 10 seconds. But this is something that always is going to delay our boot. So what I'm going to do is to disable these lines and do a reboot, and always start the network manually if I need to. So when I boot my system, my Wi-Fi is going to connect to the network, but not the TCP/IP. So if I go here to utilities, Roadie, like that, if I start it, logically it should connect fine. Oh, so about this, okay, now we are connected. If we do show net status, we have an IP. It gets a little bit more time. So if we do a ping, we logically have been connected. Okay. Okay, that's fine. So we are connected with Wi-Fi. Now, about this Wi-Fi update, I see here that it has as a default tool the IconX. That, along with the that means that this is a script file. So I will attempt to open it in an editor and see what exactly it does. Wow, it does a lot of things. So it tries to get this Wi-Fi Pi device, if that exists on our system, goes to RAM, downloads the file if exists, and if that succeeds, it compares. That is a tool that is coming with the inside the package of the AmiKit compare. It's not a tool that comes with Amiga OS, so you have to have the package fully installed. And if that, it compares these two, and I guess if they are different, it returns a warn and then asks if we want to download the newer version. So we need wget, we need compare to make it work, and then it does the update. Okay, maybe some other time I'm going to have a look on that. I don't know if that installation was difficult or complex. I just wanted to do it manually, just to have the opportunity to describe what exactly and how things are working, what exactly we have to do, and how things are working with this kind of stuff. My setup here right now, it seems that is on internet, so let's do the ultimate test. And it's working fine. That's great. So right now I can get rid of this PCMCIA. But at some point I would like to make some speed test and see if that is faster or not. Let's see if I go to a website. Actually, if we go to Aminet, there is a tool to check the speed. Go to net. Net speed. I have to remember the name. Omega network speed test utility, AMI speed. Is that the one? Yes, that's the one. AMI speed test. So let's download it. Find downloads. Faster, Chitu says, nice choice. Is it faster? Faster from the PCMCIA? I don't know yet. I should have done some tests, but we can do it, I guess, at any time. It's easy to roll back to the PCMCIA. You only need to go to the devs here folder and net interfaces and put here the CNET and run this one. Actually, now that I am thinking about it, you might be even able to connect with both of the devices. Now, is there going to be a way to say that now I want to use this device to connect, or to make this request, or the other device to make this request? I don't know if this is possible in Amiga. But let's see this AMI speed test. Downloads. And to be more accurate, let me stop this. there's no way to save the results, so I'm going to copy them and open here tools, this one, and save it, let's say in volumes, applications, and say Wi-Fi Pi dot speed, for example, and to make it to test the PCMCIA, let's give it a test. I'm curious to see which one is faster. Of course, I'm going to do only one test on them, and let me go to CNET here. Those not those drivers. Net interfaces. I have a CNET, and temporarily I will remove that here. Quit. Let's reboot. Yeah, of course, I am streaming, but I don't expect that the speed is going to go crazy. So if we go to utilities, Rodi, and start connect, and while this is connecting, I'm going to go to downloads, so under the same circumstances, and we have right now the PCMCIA working, ping, it's working. I think that the PCMCIA seems, at least for the ping, it seems faster. But I might be wrong. At least the results prove me wrong here. I think the Wi-Fi was faster. Okay, so yeah, based on this test, it is a little bit slower. Yeah, the Wi-Fi Pi seems much faster. Yeah, 50% faster, yes. And have in mind that this device is not fully optimized yet. Right, so I expect this is going to get better. And I see that in yeah, but these tests are not that accurate. For example, you can see that in this test a different server is used, so this might have also some impact. So you can't be accurate that this is faster or the other, but you can get a sense of what it will be proper to use, maybe. So for now, for me, I'm going to go with Wi-Fi Pi and disable the CNET. Storage like that. I will boot. So what's next? We have seen the network, we have set up the Wi-Fi Pi. I hope that we can connect again. Cito says, very interesting, PiStorm seems like a killer card, unmatched, especially for the price, because the PiStorm, you can get it around 80 to 95 euros for the PiStorm, and then the cost for the Raspberry Pi, depending on which one you want to use. Raspberry Pi 3, Raspberry Pi 4, they are all supported. For example, if you go with a Raspberry Pi 3A, you're going to find it much cheaper. So even if the whole package goes around 130 or 150, that's a pretty good price, I guess, if you go with a Raspberry Pi 4, for example, to get extra speed. If you have, of course, a Raspberry Pi somewhere in your house laying around, that can be used better. Hello, Deluxe 1260. Welcome to the stream. In IMP, there is also some kind of speed test function. Yeah, exactly. You are right. You are right. There is an option to do some test, and I think it downloads from developer servers, and that might be more accurate actually, because you have a specific server that you get data from. Okay, timed out. Yes, let's try that again. Thanks for bringing that up, Deluxe. So what I would like to do now is to try a little bit and make the workbench a little bit nicer, but I will add some music as well to play in the background. If you like mod music, I hope you will like my selections, and please let me know if the sound is fine or not, or the music, if the music is too loud and you can't hear anything that I am saying. At least you can see now. So what I don't like here is, for example, you see that this size of the border, the top border, is pretty fine, but the bottom border is pretty small, and I would like to fix that. This can be done from IC control and appearance settings. So this is something that was introduced in AmigaOS 3.2, if I recall correct, and the older versions, AmigaOS 3.9, had some different ways to do it, again in IC control, but I find the way that is on AmigaOS 3.2 more intuitive, and you can set, for example, all the gadgets, the size of the gadget and the borders. For example, if I go to 18 to 18, you are going to see that all the borders have the same size, and but again the bottom almost the same size, because the title is smaller. You have to match it, and to do that you have to go, I think, here on window and add some pixels like that. But again, right now it's too big. I want to find a middle, a golden rule. So what I'm going to do is to increase the size of the window and the screen border, but also change to square proportional look. This will keep the gadgets like the resize and the arrows as square, but the size is going to be a percentage based off the title bar. So let's see that as it is right now. Nothing, not much changed. Having more bigger title bars gives more space between the letters and the borders, so it makes it more readable. If I go again to IC control and I change that to 75, that keeps the title bar having some space, and they are square, because I didn't like the way that they were too small and squeezed. So they remain like square right now with the arrows. You can go even lower if you want. Let's say 50%, and you can have them pretty small. The thing here is that the percentage, that option is pretty interesting, because if I go and go crazy with the size, sorry, not this one, I think the title size, title bar, yeah, like that. They are changing as well based on the bar. So yeah, I think for my understanding of the size, or something like that, is a personal thing. I think this 4 pixels on title bar and 75% is a good amount of for the borders, because you have space to see and read things in the title bar, and these are remaining square, and they are not tiny. Cito says, very interesting. Pistorm seems like a killer card and unmatched. Yes, and a small factor, ideal for small Amigas. Yeah, if you have the Pistorm is available for 500. I think it's available for 600 as well. So if you have a 500 with a Pistorm, you transform this computer completely, right? So it's getting really fast, it's getting RTG. You are getting at some point, because I don't know in these Pistorms if the Wi-Fi is already available. It might not be available yet. It might be already available, I don't know. I think it's only for the Pistorm 32 Lite, that is for the Amiga 1200. But when this is going to be available, you're going to have Wi-Fi, and it's a completely different machine, right? Cool. So that's one of the things that I like to do with the way to make it a little bit more clear. Another thing that we could do is to try and, because we have a 720p screen resolution in AmigaOS 3, sometimes it's really difficult to find where the pointer is. And that's logical because this pointer is made to work for smaller resolutions. So there is a package on Aminet. Let's find it. If I go to Aminet and search for pointers, and sort by date but descending, there is a package named lvl.pointers, and the description is mouse pointer presets for RTG AmigaOS 3.2. These were created by Livelord, and from the list of the files I see that there are different pointers for different sizes. Let's see on the information. LVL pointers are a modern high-res set of pointer presets for Amiga 3.2 operating system, loosely based on DMZ White and Quantum pointers for Linux, later licensed under the terms of Creative Commons Attribution Alike 4.0 license. Okay, I will say let's download them and have a look. Let's save them in RAM, extract. Let's do it as let me extract them as they are in a system. I would like to save them here in presets. So it's system prefs presets pointers. Extract. And I think that if I go to prefs right now and open the pointer and open presets pointers, I have them here available. So let's try the first one, 18. A lot bigger. Let's try the red one, but the 24. C2, that's for you. The pointer works fine, and there are the alternatives as well available, so that's good. And let's see the other one, the white one, 32. Wow, that's quite big, right? So I will say I will go with the red one, 18. That's pretty fine, I guess. Save. And now I have a much better, bigger at least pointer, and I can see it in this big resolution. So if you guys would like to get bigger pointers on your AmigaOS 3.2, try this package lvl.pointers.lha in Aminet. What else? Yeah. Um, I would like to have a dock. So the AMI dock is the one that I would choose on Amiga OS 3.9. Chito says, wasn't there an option to double the size of the original pointer? Let's see that. There is an option. Let's open classic pointer, for example. If you set it to high res, it still, I think, remains small. Let's see it. Yeah, it still remains small. You can, there are some environment variables for the Picasso to make it bigger as well, I think. And I think that CyberGraphics has that as well. But there is also, for example, let's go with GI pointer, big pointer, this one. Or bigger. These are pointers that are coming with the operating system. For example, use. Let's check another one. Black bigger pointer. I don't see them to be that big like the Livelords pointers. So if we select this one, okay, that's pretty much the same. So the bigger pointers here are pretty much the same like the 18, the size 18 of Livelords. With 24, for example, you can go even bigger. And the thing is that, okay, right now we are on 720p. Think about going to 1080p. These are going to be even smaller. I think if you have the option to go with bigger pointers, as bigger as possible, that's a good way to have it on your system, and it's at least visible to see it. Yeah, I'm happy with this one. So about the dock. The AMI dock that comes with Amiga OS 3.9, I think that is one of the best docks out there. Of course, we can get it from a 3.9 setup and move it to Amiga OS 3.2. But it will need also some reaction gadgets to copy as well, and you have to have a Amiga OS 3.9 available. An installation. An alternative solution is the WB dock, which is created by Thomas Rapp. He has some different, a few different versions of WB dock. There is also a version for Workbench 1.3, but for me right now is the WB dock 2, which has some interesting features, and let's download it. Let's see how we can install. Installation. Method 1. move wb-doc to workbench startup, move wb-doc config to somewhere else, add the path to wb-doc config to wb-doc's tooltypes. Okay. Method 2, recommended, move wb-doc anywhere on your hard disk. Move wb-doc config to workbench startup, rename that file to wb-doc, add the project icon. Okay, so what it does is it says move this config file to workbench startup with main with the main project icon to be wb-doc. So you open this config with wb-doc. With method 2, the name of the config file becomes the name of the Rx port. Okay, so let's go with the second solution. I'm going to move that in utilities, like that. I'm going to change the icon to the default. I'm going to get, let's see, this one, move it here, like this, info, project, this is this one, okay. And it says to rename it to wb-doc. I think it asks you to rename it to full capitalize, because as it says here, the file name becomes the name of the Rx port. And usually on Rx ports, for every application that uses Rx, all the names, all the ports are capitalized, uppercase. So I guess that's the reason why it says to have that name. But that's my guess, don't take it for granted. So if I double click now, it starts the wb-doc. And yeah, it looks nice, and from here you can change that style. For example, the funny one, let's change it. Wow, it's really fast. And if we change it to something else, Magic Workbench, this one, L cars. Okay. Tool Manager, like the one that is coming with Amiga Forever, I guess. And I'm going to go with the Amidoc style, and skin, show text, show text. Okay, the second show text is only for text. Okay. I like to see only the icons. If you click pattern, I guess it's the back pattern. So I guess if you select leader, it's going to change, right? That's better, I think. Drag bar, you can remove it. That's cool because you have it standing in the specific place. Auto hide the dock. Ah, nice. And it's pretty responsive. It's really good. And what else? Sticky menu. Okay, save settings, add item, save settings. Okay, let's leave it there. Save settings and add item. And for items I would like to add eyebrows. Let me see, I don't remember if it is possible to add by drag and drop. Yes, you can. So what else I would like to add? Good, and we have AMI FTP as well. I need to work a little bit with the icons, so I can make it look much better. But yeah, we have a dog. Is it possible to make that smaller? I guess we will need smaller icons to make it smaller. So that's our WB dock. It's pretty nice. For example, if I click AMI FTP, it should start AMI FTP. That's fine. And actually, while it opens it, the icon flashes a little bit. That's pretty fast as well. Cool. So, WB dock version 2 from Thomas Rapp. Excellent choice, I guess. But if you like to use something else, the only thing that I would miss from the AMI dock is that AMI dock you can have multiple docks. If you remember, AMI dock has here in the drag bar a small button that you can click, and you have a menu that you can select different docks. So if you have a dock for the internet application, a dock for games, a dock for whatever, you can have them in the same installation and switch. That is something that doesn't happen here. You can have it as a vertical one, which means that we can have it vertical on the left and also auto hide. Can we? Without the track bar. Okay. Maybe not. It seems that the auto hide works only if it is horizontal. Cool. What else? There is another tool that it is quite interesting, I guess. It is called 6vars, and you can find it in Aminet as well. It is version 0.12. Let's download it and have a look. This is developed by Lars Stockman, and what it does is to create environment variables for different information about your system, and this can be used. Let's extract it. Extract, and let's see it. Sysvars. This can be used with the workbench title here. If you remember from the preferences, if you go to the workbench, there is the screen title format, which you can change to whatever you like. You can add here and that is printed at the top line, at the top title screen bar. So with the sysvars, you can create these environment variables. Here, if you go to the if you click here on plus, there are different things that you can add, and except the version number, which is the one that you see here, 3.2.2.1 for the workbench and the kickstart, the processor. You have also the environment variable, and what you can do is, if let's execute the source. Oh, the source is also available. Let's see what there is in the startup sequence. So whoa, a lot of things to check right now. Let's see if we set up this one. Okay. Results. Amigos 3.2, 68 of 40 internal chipset. Let's see if I open an editor. I have an editor. If I open env, okay, root show online. Okay, let me see how I can get some information. So currently the following variables are set by sysvars. So to install it, copy sysvars into your C directory and add it to your startup sequence or user startup. Okay, depending on how early you need the variables. You can extract the content of the sysvars directory inside the archive to a bootable floppy disk, or use the create test disk script, which formats the disk and installs a boot block and copies the files. Okay. I don't think I need all this stuff. Currently the following variables are set by sysvars. CPU, FPU. Okay. Let me check again the startup sequence. I think this is needed when someone creates the floppy disk. Okay. Best with Amiga sooner or later. For the curious, SysVars run happily also on OS 1.3. Is this a script? This is a script. Okay. So what we saw earlier when we ran this is the result of this startup sequence. Right. So it says echo CPU. Okay. So I guess that what we can do is so it saves some environment variables, and if I open, can I do something like CPU? No. If I go here and run copy sysvars and see. Okay. Okay, and what if I do sysvars? Nothing. What if I do we have here, okay, currently the following variables are set by sysvars. Okay, so if you run sysvars, then the environment variables are set. So if I go and open here something in env, do I see them? No, but if I go here on the prefs, say CPU $CPU, for example, insert, use, yeah, cancel. Yeah, that's a problem because I added the colon here. Okay, I see $CPU. So what I have okay, I run here the sysvars, but this is only for this environment, for the cell. Yeah, see, the Wi-Fi it is stable. So if you, what he is doing, KST 36, okay, sysvars. So he runs here sysvars, and because he runs it here, all the variables are available. What we could do is to say sysvars. No, we have that already run, but if we say echo CPU to env CPU var, for example, I guess we are going to open and go to env, and we are going to have a CPU var that has this value. So if I go now in Workbench preferences, and here I change it to have environment variable CPU underscore var, enter an env variable name, insert, like that. Is it going to work? No, because it wants, does it want the percentage in front? So that it gets that it is a variable? Maybe? No, it gets the CPU. Does it get it from the sysvars or something else? Do I have here person processor? Ah, it gets it from here. Okay. So if I do something like, instead of CPU, I save it as processor. And if I come here, will it use it? Before we had the CPU underscore var as a name, but the CPU is already it is already an argument for the Workbench title bar, which you can find it at here. That's why it took the CPU part and printed the 040 up there. But my thing is that I need to add the environment variable name. Okay. Okay. How can I do that? Maybe we can find some information in help. Javier, welcome back. Welcome back. Environment variables. Okay, but we want preferences. I'm trying to set up some environment variables with sysvars right now, and then read them in the title the screen title, and show some information there about the system. So it is Workbench programs, system tools, dev storages, system prefs, yeah, and we have Workbench, and here quality, border, available tool types, no icon, okay, update delay, no title bar, screen title bar, format. Okay. Enables you to customize the heading of on the Workbench screen title bar by typing into the text box, provided the only restriction is the number of characters that can fit on a single line across the top of the Workbench screen. And this depends on your screen resolution, of course. You can also include system variables as part of the text by clicking on the insert gadget wherever you want to insert them, and selecting items from the various menus. Each time a variable is inserted, it will appear as an abbreviation for that variable with a percentage in front of it in a text box. It doesn't say anything about the environment variables though. So right now I have here if I go to env, I have the processor, and that shows this value. Environment, enter an environment variable name. Okay. Processor. Yeah, it does work. Screen title and var shows 3.2. Yes, something like %e. Yes. If I add 1% that's in front, like that, I think it doesn't make any change. Now I don't know if it needs to have 2. No. Something like that. Something like %e. You set an environment time, it was on the help George, the IRC, okay, time under different menu, but not sure, haven't tried it. Okay, let's see. %e processor. Oh, yeah, that's the way. So, based on the sysvars, what you have some information about the chipset, for example, or the vertical kickstart version and revision, the ID of BSD socket library, UI major, minor, and revision. So if we do something like echo dollar chipset to env chipset, and then we go again to the workbench and add here %e chipset, like that. Use, yes, it works great. Now this is for people that would like to add some information about the setup that they have at the workbench title. I would like to have some extra information. For example, if we go at the end, can we add something like system info? It has number of open screens, active drawer name, number of selected icons, number of active disks, number of running programs. For example, this one. Use, at the end we are going to have some number that says 10, and those are the running programs. For example, if I close this text edit, I'm going to have 9. because I closed one program. If I quit the wb-doc, going to have 8. That's pretty interesting. 2 hours for an environment. No, man. No. But what can we do with that? So if you want to get that information, you have to add, whenever you boot to have that information, you need to add that in, I guess, the user startup. So what I will do is something like that: echo and the variable that I would like the information into environment. But first you have to run sysvars, so have that in mind. If I needed to do it, for example, I would go to open user startup, and since I have sysvars in C, I would go at the end here and I will say sysvars like that, and then I would get, let's say, only the chipset. Like that. And since the system is starting, I'm going to have that there, and since I'm going to have it in title bar, it's always going to be visible. I don't know what else these sysvars can give you. Let's see. Maybe anything that is here. Yeah. Nice. So, what else? Would you like to see some gaming? Push a little bit the PyStorm to its limits. Let's close everything. Gaming time. Cito says he tried to break it many times, but the machine is rock solid. It is pretty good. But now that we said that, it's going to break. I'm sure about it. So game time. Since last time I set up every game, the RetroPlays collection of WSD load in my setup here in the disk. What I found about the PyStorm is that I use my own script to extract the LHA files. The RetroPlays collection, if you don't know, comes into multiple folders like these ones, and they are all they have the games but in LHA format, and it is difficult to go one by one to extract them. So I created a simple script. I know there is one tool in Aminet that does exactly the same thing. I created this small script that when you want to extract files, for example here, you see every file, every game is in LHA file. So what I did is to use that script that when you run it, it asks you about the folder. For example, here, this folder, and if you click OK, it starts extracting all the files in place and delete the LHA files. This way all the games were extracted and they are ready for me to run. What I found though is that sometimes the process stalls in PyStorm after a lot of time that extracts things. Maybe this has to do with LHA, maybe this has to do with the driver for the SD card, and it for some reason after, I don't know, 40 minutes that it does this this job, it gives up. And a couple of times I couldn't even reboot my system for some reason, because it seems that the partition had issues. In such situations I had to disable the partition and then I could boot just fine. When it was enabled, I couldn't boot at all, and I did that in the startup sequence. Sorry, early startup screen. And I have seen that whenever you try to copy a lot of big files, for example, a file of 900 megabytes or something, it's taking a lot of time with the PyStorm. Of course, it is much faster than my 1200 with the 1230 with the 030 processor, but it seems that there are some issues on with the device probably. So guys, have that in mind, because I don't know if anyone of you had the same experience, but that's what I saw with the when I tried to copy all the RetroPlays collection into the this Amiga, the hard disk that is on SD card on the Raspberry Pi. Chito says run the PyStorm tool to see if it overheats. Yeah, let's have it. Have it here in utilities. You see, even now that it's doing a lot of access in the hard disk, the system gets a little bit slower. So the temperature is 56.4 right now. So let me stop that job. Okay. It crashed. You see, Chito, as you said that it is rock solid. Yeah. Javier says, by the way, what C compilers from now are available for OS 3.2, VBCC, GCC, SAS-C? VBCC is available. SAS-C is the old version that was released with some patches, I think, here and there that you need to install. GCC is not available natively to run in OS 3.2. People who are using the GCC, they prefer to use a cross-compiler environment. I haven't seen a newer version other than the old 2.95.3, I think, for GCC working. Cross-compiler GCC, so then yes, if you want to use GCC, cross-compiler is the best to go. Now it doesn't boot. Otherwise, the much more simple installation and setup is VBCC. You can do it on your Amiga as well, and you can use it. You can use a cross compiler with VBCC as well if you want. I know that the Amiga OS developers, the majority of them are working with SASC because it gives more optimized code binaries for these systems. So if you want to develop on your Amiga, I would suggest SASC or VBCC. SASC is a little bit difficult to find and set up. I think VBCC is still under maintenance. For iGame, I prefer and I use the VBCC because I use cross compiler for that. Using VBCC, and I can compile for Amiga OS 4, OS 3 and Morphos from VBCC, so it's much more convenient for me, but it has its downsides that you can't use libraries, open source libraries, like for example the library curl or something like that. Okay. Now if I keep the both buttons pressed, the power is flashing. I think it tries to tell me that I need to end this stream. Come on, man. I am too tired. Ah, here we are. Cool. I didn't switch to the native. So, if I go and disable the SDH3, which is the partition that has all the games, let's see if we are going to be able to boot. Let's do a failsafe boot. It boots just fine. If I go reboot, right? And I will do failsafe without disabling that partition. Failsafe. Let's see if that boots. It doesn't boot. For some reason it doesn't boot. The last time that this happened, I left the Amiga shut down for a few hours and then the next day that I tried that again, it worked fine. Javier says, but VBCC isn't a bit limited, does exist headers for Amiga stuff, Magic User Interface, AMI SSL and Reaction. Magic User Interface, AMI SSL and Reaction can be used just fine because Magic User Interface and AMI SSL are libraries, so you are using the library and the only thing that you need to do is to open the library in your code. You don't have, and you can use the header as they are. The same happens for Reaction. All three of them are libraries and the header files that you are using are working fine for VBCC as well as GCC. And I know that because I am using the Magic User Interface for iGame a lot. My son developed a utility named Mnemoscene he's using VPCC, and it's using Reaction, so it works fine. The only thing that you have to have in your mind if you develop something with VPCC is that if that application is commercial, you need to have some agreement with the developer, and I think there is a need to get some license. But if your application is free, available free, and maybe open source, you don't need the license, as much as I know. If you check the documentation of VPCC, there is a mention about this license. Cito says weird behavior. Yeah, but if it boots after some hours, it could be heat related somehow. Yeah, I agree with that. Javier says, okay, I just built some light tools with VPCC. Normally use GCC, but under OS4. Yes, under OS4 I use GCC as well. The development tools that are available for OS4 as well as Morphos are more advanced than what it is available for Amiga OS 3, unfortunately. There is a toolchain for Amiga OS 3, but it is only using GCC, but it is only for cross-compiling. And also there is some tools that you can use with VS Code that are developed by guys that are involved in demos, in the demo scene, and they have some debuggers. They have a lot of interesting stuff in there. Because they need to track everything on when a demo runs. They need to know how much memory it takes and all this stuff that you of course need as well when you are implementing applications, but they are going to much lower level, I guess. And these tools are also quite interesting. Okay, so you see this error, program wdoc has not yet returned. Do you want to wait some more? You click cancel on this, and if we go to Workbench Startup, the way to disable that problem, that requester, is to uncheck this checkbox here. In previous versions of Amiga OS, that was not there, and we had to add a tool type, do not wait, something like that. It's exactly the same thing, but now we don't need that. And if you wonder how I managed to boot and if I solved the issue, no, I just disabled the SDH3 and that booted just fine. If I reboot now, I will expect that it's not going to boot. Javier says not used to OS 3.2 just for some tests. You personally are not used to OS 3.2. You are not using this OS. For me personally, it's the best OS 3.x release that is out there, because it brings a lot of things from Amiga OS 4 and from 3.9, and it's pretty fast. Now I don't know why I have that situation right now. I might need to investigate it a little bit more, why this is happening. So about games, next week. Next week it's going to be all games, I hope, I guess. And I'm going to also try and install this game here, the Exodus, which is an RTS, and see how this is working, if it goes fast. I expect that this is going to work just fine, but we have to see it. Is working with RTG as well, but I would like to see how this is running. So unfortunately the Amiga doesn't work anymore for some reason. It might be hit. I have to investigate it as well. So at that point I'm going to end this stream. I would like to thank you all again for being here. Citu77, thanks for being here. Javier, thank you for coming by. Everyone in the chat, SLD Snake that was here earlier, thanks. We have seen a lot of, I hope, interesting things. We set up the Wi-Fi Pi device and we get internet access through that device. Using Wi-Fi, we compare the performance of the Wi-Fi and the PCMCIA card that I was using up to today, and we saw that the Wi-Fi is much faster. And we also saw tools like Rodi, like different pointers to install, WBDoc2, and a lot more stuff for you to investigate and make your system more interesting or usable. Thanks, Javier, for being here. Thank you, Citu77. I would like also to let you know that I have my Amiga blog at ko-fi.com. So if you go to ko-fi.com/Walkero, you can find all my different blog posts about the projects that I'm working on. There are blog posts about the streams that I am doing as well. And I would like to thank also my monthly supporters who are Breed, Christopher White, Daniel Jedlika, Emek, Livelord, and Tim Grooms. And for now, and because I remember that, let's see if we can raid someone and have some fun on their stream. Let's see if there is someone that streams anything about Amiga. So let me check. I think there is some gaming happening on Amiga Live. Amiga Live is streaming all day, but people go and start some games there. On Amiga, you can play games for Amiga games all over the world. Wherever you are, you can start a game on Amiga Live because it is online, and have some fun. Thanks again, everyone, for being here. See you on Tuesday with Amiga OS 4 gaming nights, and next Friday with more Amiga OS 3 and PyStorm. Have a great weekend and see you next time. Bye bye, everyone.